Hello, it's Emma here from emmaashford.com, and in this video I want to talk to you about the 3 simple mindset shifts you can make when you feel like you're stuck in a trap of busyness. So I read somewhere that busy is the new fine. So whenever we ask each other how we are, the stock response tends to be busy. It's almost become the new way of being in the world. Now, some of us feel like we're busy all the time. Some of us feel like it's more of a spell that kind of comes along, but when it does, we tend to feel very overwhelmed by it. So Oliver Burkeman used an analogy that I think fits absolutely perfectly. So he said that busyness is like a jigsaw puzzle. So each week you get 500 pieces and you have to fit them all together by the end of the week. But of course Friday comes and only half the jigsaw is complete. So we feel like a failure. We feel like we're hopeless. We feel despairing for the week to come where we still have all these things on the to-do list. But what we don't realise is that the number of pieces just keeps expanding as the week goes on. We just have more and more pieces to put together, and so we've got less and less chance of completing it by the end of the week. Now, busyness impacts the quality of our lives in that it prevents us from doing the things that we truly want to do and the things that we know are good for us, the things that we know kind of nourish us and make us feel good. It's always the things for ourselves that get put to the bottom of the list, and that they become the things to get round to when we've done everything else, which of course never happens, and so very often we don't get round to those good things. And you might also find that the things that should be fun or enjoyable just become another thing on the to-do list and feel like a burden. So I always know when I feel overwhelmed, I know one of the biggest signs for me is that going to the gym or exercising becomes just another thing on the to-do list, whereas actually it's something I really enjoy and something that is so good for me. So here are my 3 simple mindset shifts to help you to break out of the busyness trap. So step 1 is to mind your language. So when you repeatedly say to yourself or to other people, "I'm busy," it means that you're taking this on as part of yourself and that you'll act accordingly. Because what you focus on becomes your reality. So when you're frequently giving yourself this message of "I'm busy," subconsciously you're accepting that message, and you'll find ways to fill your time, often with completely unnecessary pressures or extra expectations, in order to actually be busy. It's really, really automatic. So unless it's kind of pointed out to you or unless your attention's brought to it, you might not even have noticed it. But you tend to take on more and more things as pressures or stresses because you're living up to this expectation of being busy. Because your mind can't help but accept the messages you give to yourself. It accepts them as if they are the truth, and it will go about creating the circumstances in your life to match this message. Now, the other thing that happens when you're giving yourself this message is that your body will react with feelings and emotions, and this usually means that you begin to feel tense and stressed out and overwhelmed, and it creates a sense of emergency in the body. It makes it harder to consider that you could possibly relax or that you could have some downtime, because there's this state of emergency, this state of high alert inside you. And that state of high alert means that our behaviours change, so we'll start to do things like check your email even more often or create more tasks just in case you've missed something, because things don't feel comfortable inside you. And so therefore you become even busier. you become even busier and even more stressed. So instead of telling yourself, I'm busy, try and tell yourself, my life is full of purpose and intention. It's replacing one message with a much more positive message that will change those reactions in the body. It will change that truth that your mind is taking on. So step 2, try and ask yourself if being busy has any purpose for you. So this might take a bit of soul searching, and it might take a bit of honest reflection, because it's not always easy to identify these things. But very often people find that busyness serves a purpose. Now that might be something like being a helpful distraction from anxiety or from feelings or situations that you don't want to have to face up to. Or it can give a sense of feeling important or feeling needed. Because many people have a fear of life feeling a bit meaningless or trivial or directionless. And so being busy gives a sense of purpose and direction. So it might be that there is a purpose to your busyness. Just try and recognize if this might be at play for you. Just try and notice, if busyness had a purpose for you, what would it be? And then keep reminding yourself, it's okay not to be busy. Ultimately, you are a human being, not a human doing. And if you can challenge this, and if you can learn to take some time to just be and to just focus on spending positive time doing things for you, your life will take on a new meaning and a new sense of positivity. So this can be really challenging, but it's really worth thinking about. And then step 3, let go of expectations. So everything might not get done, and you need to be okay with that. Your house might not be as tidy as you would like. You might need to delegate things at work that you'd rather not. The things that you do get done might not be perfect, but you can only do the best you can. You need to let go of those unnecessary expectations you have in yourself. So ask yourself if each task on your to-do list is absolutely essential. Are there some things you could let go of? It might not be perfect to let go of them, but could you let go of them? And then every day, just prioritize the absolutely essential things. Because there is never a time when sleep and downtime is more important. You really need to prioritize these above everything else. It will make you more productive when you are doing the things you need to do, but you must take that time to recover and rest. So it's really about letting go of anything unnecessary, any unnecessary pressures you're putting on yourself. And make sure that you're choosing very carefully, very wisely, what does go in your diary. What are the things that you genuinely want to prioritize? You need to consider yourself as a whole person. You're not just your work self. You're not just your parent self. You are a whole person, and a whole person needs rest and recovery and positive time. So let's just recap those 3 simple mindset shifts to breaking out of the busyness trap. Number 1, mind your language. Number 2, ask yourself if being busy has a purpose for you. Number 3, let go of expectations.